One day a rabbi was teaching a class, and he was teaching the class about God. Yet one of the young boys said, "Rabbi, I can't understand any of your teachings about God." He says, "I barely can understand my mother and my father, let alone God, who I've never seen before." So the rabbi thinks a bit and says to the boy, "Would you like to know God?" "Yes, of course," says the young boy. He says, "Okay, let me teach you." He gives him a stone and he says to the young boy, "Take the stone and love the stone, find out everything you can about this stone, and befriend this stone and treat it well. See what happens over some time and come back to me in a month." The boy does this, comes back in a month and says, "I've learned a lot about this stone, its weight, how old and ancient it is, and how strong it is, etc., etc. I've really got to know the stone well. But what has this got to do with knowing God?" "Well, we'll get there," says the rabbi. "Any event," he says to him, "go and look after a flower." "A flower? Yes, this is how you're going to get to know God." So the boy listens to the rabbi, knows he's so wise, and goes and finds himself a plant and looks after this plant, which flowers and blooms over the month. He then comes back to the rabbi and speaks to him about watering and taking care of this plant, and how wonderful it is, and how it opens and closes, and keeps going through all these conditions and so on and so forth. "What does this have to do with knowing God?" says the young boy. "Hang on a second," says the rabbi. "What I want you to go do is go out there and create a relationship with the stream, the trees, and the fields and the mountains. Go out there every day and spend some time with them all, and let's see what happens." Sure enough, the boy goes and spends all that time with the trees and the mountains and the meadows and has the time of his life. "I love nature," says the boy, "but what on earth does this have to do with getting to know God?" So the rabbi says to him, "What you need to do if you want to get to know God is go out there and look up at the stars, look at the universe, look at the oceans, look at other people, and then you will get to understand who God is. Because if you cannot understand what the Creator has created, how on earth are you going to understand the Creator themselves?"